So this jar was the Camouflage by Rust-Oleum. I could not get all of the same paint. This one here, I wanted something metallic, and I love copper. Copper is my all-time favorite. So I got this Rust-Oleum in the metallic. And then I wanted a white, but I didn't want a stark white. I wanted sort of a cream ivory, because that to me is more fall. Bright white is more summer. And I used this chiffon cream, but this is chalked paint. So where the others are kind of matte and smooth, this one has textured. It's got a bumpy texture, but I'm okay with that. I think that looks kind of cool. It adds to it. So this bright orange is orange that I used in another project, which is the Krylon Fusion all-in-one, and this is the gloss popsicle orange. This is the brightest color of all of them. And this one, which is the Rust, again, I used a Rust-Oleum fabric paint, and I used it on aluminum cans and it worked. So I thought I'd try and see how it works on glass jars, and it worked just fine. I liked the way it finished out. And lastly, my yellow. Again, I didn't want a bright yellow. I wanted more of a mustard, because to me, bright yellow is summer, mustard is more fall. And I used the Krylon Fusion all-in-one, and this is a matte wild honey. So those were the colors. I used my Cricut machine to cut out permanent vinyl in a font that I thought would look good on the mason jars. I made 2 sets of words that spelled autumn, one for each side of the jars. This way, guests will have the same view from both sides of the table. I'm planning on using these as a centerpiece on a long table, and wanted people sitting on both sides to be able to see the same wording. I had to be careful that I had the letters in the right order when placing them on the opposite side of the jars. I did this by completing one side and putting the jars in order to spell autumn. Then I moved to the back side of the jars without moving the jars. I lined them up and set up the letters to spell autumn correctly and not backwards. After all the letters are on the jars, I decided to tie some twine around the neck of the jar. I unwind the twine, giving me plenty of length to work with. Then I cut 5 more of the same length. I wrap the twine 4 or 5 times around the neck of the jar, since it is a thin twine. If using thicker twine, you may want to wrap it fewer times. I wonder how many times I just said twine. Anyway, here is a tip or a suggestion. When making centerpieces for a dining table, I try to keep the centerpiece low so people can talk to each other. You don't want your guests to be looking around a centerpiece or trying to look over top of it. It makes for a more enjoyable experience when people can talk with one another. So remember, when making a table centerpiece, keep it below eye level or go extremely tall to avoid creating a wall between guests. Allowing your guests to communicate with one another will create a memorable experience. And after all, sharing those special moments is what it's about. Now I'm going to my favorite florist, Country Florist, to get purple flowers to put in one so you can see what it will look like. I won't get flowers for all of them until we get closer to Thanksgiving, because this is going to be the Thanksgiving centerpiece. This is what they look like from one side, and then you'll see what it looks like from the other side. I hope you guys enjoyed this project and going along on the journey with us, and we look forward to seeing you next time. So make it a gorgeous day every day. Bye.